Okay, it is Friday, July 17th, and we are tomorrow 4 weeks out from the grand opening. We are in the final glide path now. We're going to have a work day on Sunday, 9 o'clock. Hope everybody can come out. We got plenty to do. And want to kind of walk through, do a walk around of the property, and let everybody know what is on offer in terms of things that we need help with. So I'm out on kind of the south side of the main driveway here, and a lot of the work that we have going on, you can see there's the grass seed that we put down during the last work day is coming out really well. We're going to have to do more of that in general in some different parts of the site that I'll show you. And for that, we have this mound of grass here that's left over. It's kind of a loam compost mix. We're going to have to use some of that, hopefully not all of it, because we do use it for patching the field, but you know, there's probably 10 or 15 wheelbarrows full there. And then on beyond it, up next to my van, are a bunch of bales of mulch that we're going to use for doing just like this, where we get the loam sorted out and get seed down on it, wet it all down, and spread the mulch on top of it to kind of protect it, keep it in place, and allow it to kind of keep the moisture in. So first area is down here by like the telephone pole, and the end of the driveway is just all kind of dirt, and even up into kind of above the riprap here. We can fill that in. Also on the other side, where we turn in, we'd like to have some mulch and seed down on that. We did have a walk around with the town planner and the town engineers yesterday, Jimmy Sheminsky and I, and that went really well. One of the things that she mentioned was our heirloom apple tree that we have here from a couple months ago now. We want to have another one in here, or at least one more, as a pollination partner. So somebody could go, or if somebody's a apple nerd and knows of a good type of apple tree, and knows what rootstock and scion wood and so forth means, get a hold of me. Otherwise, we'll just go down to O'Donnell's and pick one up. So there's that. The next thing that we need for our certificate of occupancy, we have to get our gate sorted out. And Joe Loring is doing an awesome job. He and I, last month, put these big 10-foot posts down into the ground. He's going to come out with the brackets. I know they got sandblasted this week. They'll get painted next week and put up. So the posts, these posts are going to be used for the main gate, for the main parking lot. And then these other posts that we're kind of using just temporarily, with this wire and the PVC with the electrical tape or the reflective tape on it. These posts are going to get moved over to the log cabin driveway, the next driveway up. And so that's something that we need to do on Sunday. They're just stuck in the ground here. There's no concrete or anything, so we got to dig them up, drag them over to the log cabin, and dig holes there, either with one of the backhoes. I think Pete Delbianco is going to have his backhoe. My backhoe's over there. Maybe we can kind of get it started with that, and then post holes to get them a little deeper. And then we have some bags of concrete. I think there's a couple up on the swamp buggy up there, and then some more in the house. We should have enough to do a bag or two of concrete in the holes, and then just stick those guys down in there, get them secured over there. In the meantime, I think we want to keep this wire over here, and so somebody can figure out how to just temporarily attach the wire onto these things. Obviously, it's going to be, sorry about the wind, it's going to be a little bit shorter, and so we'll have to kind of do some stuff. But if somebody could figure that out, that would be great. These we're not going to have a burn, I don't think, on Sunday, but it would be great to get our 2 burn piles, right? So we have one here and then one up over there, yeah, so up over there, and it would be good to get these ready to go. So this is kind of some pretty green wood that didn't really catch last time we tried to do it, and so what I would love to have some people do is just scour back here, kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, find some kindling, maybe from up in here, like down by the road. There's a bunch of dead wood here, bunch of dead wood just kind of back in the woods there, and just pile a bunch of stuff up. It doesn't have to be big giant stuff, but just kind of a big pile of some dead wood in there, that and then also up in here, that we can then get these things going, get rid of them before the big party. I don't think we'll do it Sunday, but if we can get them stocked with some dry kindling, that would be great. So I'm walking up to the garage right now. There's a few things that need to happen in here to get this kind of cleaned up. Again, this is kind of the one sort of functional structure that we've got, and so we've got a lot to do. So in here, in the garage, this side of the garage is going to be where we keep our equipment, our mowers and so forth, but we need to get this opened up. So the first thing is all these doors that we got out of the log cabin that have been here I think that's where they came from the very beginning. They've been here. They need to go over into the house, and they're kind of heavy, so if a couple of strong people could come and just move those in one by one, that would be great. And then that kind of frees up this side over here. What I'd love to do, this area over here in the garage is going to be our quote unquote kitchen. Not a proper kitchen at this point, but just where we kind of keep the grill and the food. Eventually, maybe we'll have this oven, warming oven from Marco in there. But we just want to start getting things kind of moved around. So if all of these shelves could come out of here, go over there where the doors were, and then even that refrigerator that Dan Joyce donated, if that could come and go right up in the corner, up in there. And there's a plug behind that blue tarp that it can get plugged into. That will get us a long way, or at least that'll be the next step if anybody has any ideas on how to get rid of lawnmowers, we'd like to get rid of this guy. I think he's outlived his useful life. We've tried a couple different attempts at rehabbing him, and he just needs to go and live on a farm somewhere. So if anybody's got an idea on how to get rid of this thing, it doesn't really drive, and so we'll have to kind of drag it around. But that would be great, because we do have the new new tractor now, and I know that Tom is going to donate one for the practice pitch. So organizing to kind of happen in here. Here's the bat boxes, the bat houses that need to go up. They're going to go up down by the pond, maybe one in this big tree here, is what was suggested by the pest control people. Yeah, I think Josh said he was going to do that. Yeah, so we have a lot of grass to cut, and a lot of it is kind of slopey. So there's a couple lawnmowers in there. If people want to bring their own lawnmowers, that's great too. But like, it's all around and over here. There's plenty of grass cutting that needs to happen. If grass cutting is your jam, we need your services. Okay, this is the so-called ramp. It's going to provide emergency access down to the field, and also just a nice way to get from the parking lot down to the field where you're not having to run down steep slopes. But we did kind of do a good job putting in these French drains, and we had a little bit of a blowout. We had a really horrible rainstorm that happened like before the grass was able to take, and all of the water that comes from all up here kind of comes down through this one point here. And so if we could grab some riprap. So this is what the riprap looks like. It's just the rocks. There's lots of piles of it. Like there's a pile over there that we could steal a bit from. All of the culverts have it, and make a little pile there. And I can kind of talk you through this when we get here. But the French drain is down inside of here. Inside of this thing, we need to move some of the stone kind of back in. The pipe is like down inside of that thing. And then things have kind of blown out along the way here. And I think that what we need to do is, get a wheelbarrow or something and scrape up some of this stone and just move it back up into here. And then we'll probably want to re-loam this once we get that stone back established up in there. We can kind of talk through what this is gonna look like. And then down here is kind of the bitter end of the French drain. And this, there was too much fabric here. It needs to be kind of trimmed down a little bit. That stone kind of reinstalled. And then that will hopefully allow this thing. What was happening was it was backing up because it was getting plugged down here. So we just need to. We can talk through that. What needs to happen when people get here. So again, more mowing, lots of mowing, and then we didn't get all of our cones up after touch last night. But you know what? It doesn't fucking matter because we own the place. So here's the South Swale. I have, so this is kind of gets really inundated in the spring. And it was really nasty. I think that we've got it to a point now where it is draining better because we pulled the mesh for the most part out of here. It's vegetating a little bit, but it gets really manky in the spring. And so what I've done is I bought some wetland mix, like grass seed, like not the seed that we're putting down up here that can't take the inundation, but actually stuff that is okay having the wet feet that it's going to have through here. You can see that there's already kind of some cattails looking things that are coming up in here, like volunteer wetlands plants, which is cool. But I also have this wetland mix that has a whole bunch of varieties of things that likes to live in places with wet feet. I don't have a huge amount of it. I only have a pound of it, but if we could maybe put a little sprinkle of that down this whole way here, and then put some mulch on top of it. It should get watered by the perimeter irrigation heads. It's pretty, it's feeling pretty moist through here, but you can kind of see it's like, it's pretty big. And what we don't want is just like people kicking for points, and then, the ball goes through the uprights, comes down, and then, is in this sort of nasty, rusty water that collects in here. We want to have plants that are just sucking this stuff up. And so particularly down here, like, it's pretty wide open. Some stuff on the side, but it would be great to have like vegetation happening in here. So that's the kind of special seed mix that's up in the garage, and a little bit of the mulch on top of it, and I think that should solve that problem. All of this along here, this is kind of the far sidelines, these steep-sided ponds. Can get your lawnmower, get the deck lifted all the way up, and then just buzz along on it, or get the weed whacker. And then also kind of down on the other side, this is the actual retaining wall over here. And wow, this has gotten really long back in here. This, you may want to kind of weed whack back here. This area over here, the so-called mixer area, where the two wells kind of come together, and we merge the streams, and then they go off into the irrigation system. This area needs to be finished up, so maybe a couple of wheelbarrows of loam for up here, rake it all out. We have all of these, there's these different, that's a electric box, irrigation box, for all of the controls for the irrigation water supply that we need to get sorted out. All of this area can get sort of raked out, seeded, mulched, done. Here, this thing is a water line that comes off of there, that we're going to put a drinking fountain and a hose faucet here. So you can have a hose, you can have a drinking fountain like we had over there. I've got all the pieces and parts if anybody wants to do some PVC gluing, other tasks that need to happen here. So there is a bunch of stone there that might come in handy for the ramp. All of this is the erosion control netting that we've pulled up. It just needs to get moved up into this burn pile. And then this area up in here, we were talking about the getting the kindling. So like these logs here, these sticks, this stuff can all go up in the burn pile. I'd like to have this area kind of cleaned out. Oh, it looks like the hydro seeder guy left his hose there. Anyway, also all of these sticks, and I'm going to tell you why, that we just come through this area. We don't have to go along the whole lake, but I don't know, like that scraggly pine tree could even kind of come down. But I would love to get it so that you could walk from the garage, or this area here, and then down through here. So just kind of clean all this stuff up. This is the dam right here. And if you're walking over to the practice pitch from the main pitch, this is kind of the line of sight way that you come. So I'd like to kind of get a path somehow cleared down through here. And you can also come like up from the main pitch through here. But this is Brenda Papalardo's nature path through here. And so I'd like to get this cleaned up if we can, for the party. And I think like most of it along here is good, but it's just kind of around here, you know, this stuff could go like up to the burn pile, that stuff. We're going to need to build a little bridge here. It's not wet right now. It should be fine for the 15th, but maybe like a weed whacker or something through here. And then, I don't know, we'll figure out the little bridge or something like that for the dam there. It's like a cinder block dam that's all buried. But it's all pretty picturesque through here. I don't know, eventually we get some kind of little bench or something with Brenda's name on it in here. So that's that. We need to get we have a big pile of ECM that's left over, and I would love to get that down in here. I think Pete Del Bianco is bringing Little Red, his backhoe through here. I'm not sure, because of the way that we built the irrigation system, I may not be able to get to it with my backhoe. I don't know, maybe I can kind of squeeze through here. I'm getting ready to sell the backhoe, incidentally, so kind of end of an era with that. These logs right here that are along the nature path, I cut them up last fall with a chainsaw, but we need to pick these up and bring them up here. I don't know, those are just dead, not really worth saving. But we've got this area here that's going to be like the end of the path, that I've kind of cleaned up. There's a culvert here that has been sort of roughed in, and I think that Jeff Pop and Johnny Sheminsky are going to take care of this. We need to have some riprap installed here. The slopes need to be seeded and secured with netting, and then, you know, some of that stuff can get kind of smoothed out. This is the irrigation. So there's the well is kind of put back together finally 2 years later. We have this big hose coming out here. There's Kevin looking after the irrigation system. So we have just temporary like tripods here and other kind of chained together things. There's 7 zones that each have 3 to 5 irrigation heads on them, so I feel like we're in pretty good shape over here with this, and yeah, there's our practice pitch. It's going to be cool. Like, you can't really see it from here, like how big this thing is, but like it's going to be cool. Okay, so here is the entrance of, here's the kind of log yard. So it would be great. This is kind of bits of hardwood that I've picked up sort of along the way that's over here. It would be great. We're probably going to have a fire pit, I would imagine. And so it would be great if somebody could come over that has a splitter or a maul and wedges and likes to split wood and all the logs from out there and do that. Over at the log cabin here, this is Duncan's dump trailer that has been so awesome for it. It has some side panels made out of wood, and they are over, like, just kind of around the corner of this woods, just tucked back into the woods a little bit, kind of on the side. If people could go and grab them, bring them over and put them back onto the dump trailer, that would be awesome. And then so here's the entranceway. Okay, this incidentally here is the parking lot. So just kind of park on this. Don't park on or don't drive on that. It's really soft and you'll mess it up. I think once it gets the grass established and everything, we'll be able to park more on there. But for the time being, just park on this sandy stuff if you're over this way. We have to kind of secure this area. We need to sort of not have rednecks coming and doing donuts and whatnot out there. And so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to get those posts that we looked at earlier, and we'll install sort of one kind of right here, and then one over there somewhere.
6.5 hours.
All right, the practice pitch is looking really good. I think we've got the stuff all tuned. Thanks for everybody that's helping get this all together here. Looking pretty good. And then down here with the entranceway, we did a little update today. Kevin and I moved some rocks out, so we need to kind of make sure no traffic from the road can get onto the practice pitch without going through the gate first. So first of all, we need a gate, but we also have some rocks over here that were left over from before. We got a start of a hole there for the post, and the post here, and then some big ass rocks from over by the CMP spot there, and here. And maybe we should get a couple more for over in here if people want to try and go through the woods. Head them off at the pass. And that is it. I will, hopefully, we will see you all on Sunday. Thanks for watching.